Hey, welcome to the show. We're 6 seconds in. Let's transition to this. I can't believe this thing is not. There we go. And transition. And we're live. We got two viewers. Hopefully, you guys can see what's going on. uh, what's happening is I've kind of rearranged my little shop here. I don't have a whole lot of room, so let me show you what I did. I moved the piano, and I took the piano bench and put the piano away and put the wing on a stand, so I got room on the bench to work. Now I can work on that a little bit at a time, and I'm going to work on my stab a little bit. Now, a while back, I mean, this project's been in the works for a while. I just now basically started working on it, but the thought of this project has been in process for about 6 months. And a while back, if you check back at one of the Saturdays at John's, we cut a foam stab. I was going to make a lost foam uh, stabilizer. So after today, I got to thinking, wow, would that be a lot of work? So I dug through my stuff, and I happen to have some decent wood. These are 3/32, and one weighs 11 grams, the other weighs 12. These are 3.5 pound wood. These two pieces of wood here. So those are going to be the skins for the stab. And this is a 6 pound piece of wood, which is barely contest wood. But we kind of got to go with what we got. So what I'm doing here, as I've told you, there are no plans for just about anything that I build. I just kind of go off the cuff. So what I'm going to do here, this is the best flying of the series, and this is the airplane I'm going to try to duplicate in numbers. It won't look the same, but it'll be numbers-wise the same as this one. So what I want to do, and that's 2 inches, is I want to do the numbers the same as that one. So what I'm going to do is I've always figured this up the same. You know, some of the guys have some math, 25%, this 30%, this that. If you make the stab as long as your inboard wing and as wide as the wood as you have, that's close enough. Close enough. So what I was measuring there is how wide is this at the fuselage, and it's 2 inches wide. So I've cut this piece 29 inches long. So our stab is 4 inches at the root, 29 inches long, 2.5 inches at the tip. Of course, we're going to lose some of that when we round the tips out, but that's okay. This is the easiest, fastest way to make a stabilizer that works. I can't say it's the lightest because it's not. The lightest way is a built-up. course, with light wood. So we measured 2 inches, and that's how wide it is at the leading edge of the stab, approximately. Of course, we can sand it in after we get it on the airplane. You don't want to make it at a point. You want to before, I mean, I'll have this put together so fast you can't believe it. Okay, cut this up. Looks easy because it is easy. There's our stab layout. Now this is pretty heavy, so we have to shed some weight. But before I core this thing, I kind of want to get the tips. So because I'm building a replica of the Tucker, I can do it one of 2 ways. I can take the flange here, and I had it already drawn out on here what I wanted to do. Let's see how close my guesses were, because I didn't even look at these plans. Oh yeah, we're right in the ballpark. You know, you don't need the drawings or anything. You can just draw out of your head or what have you. You know, I've built many airplanes off a napkin. So we're going to take this circular. This is just anything, you know, you can use a plate or paint can, anything with a circle on it. We're going to make the wing tips or the tips round. This stuff is so simple. Everybody makes it so complicated. We got a pi times radius, square it to death. Okay, so let's measure, make sure that we got the same chord on each end. 2.5. 2.5. Good. Remember what I told you? I always backsaw cross grain. It's a whole lot better to try to cut with a knife, because if you cut with a knife, you're gonna mar the wood up. It kind of just rips it. At least with a backsaw, it cuts across the grain pretty good. Okay, so there we have the end. Now the elevators are going to be a little different. I'm going to do it a different way. than I normally do it. But it won't take long to do that either. Remember, this whole business has to weigh 2.5 ounces, or excuse me, 3 ounces complete. That's elevators, stabilizer, and control horn. If it doesn't weigh 3 ounces, it's no good. So I'm going to build this, and if it doesn't weigh 3 ounces, I'll whittle it out till it weighs 3 ounces or make a new one. So this is basically an experiment as we're going here. Let me get that rock off of there. I gotta get a razor blade or X-Acto blade or something. Try to keep these rocks off the bench. Huh. Let's see here. Do we have a knife handle? Of course not. There's one. I don't have any razor blades here, I don't think. Better look. So hard to work in a confined area like this. It's oh, here we go. We got razor blades. I need some more pegboard hangers so I can see what I got. Let's see if anybody's saying anything here. What am I doing up so late? Well, I don't have to work. I don't work tomorrow. Of course, I took a nap today, too. Us old guys got to get our beauty rest. And get all this off so I don't get any scratches in my sheeting. This is a 3/8 piece of glass. If you can get a piece of 3/8 glass, it's the best thing to work on, or a 1/2 inch is even better. The next best thing is a piece of marble, but it has to be a ground piece of, or granite. It has to be ground. It can't be just cut. You know, it has to be ground flat. Piece of glass works because glass don't bend, except it does a little. Okay, that feels pretty good. All right. So the next thing is to lighten this up. We're going to take out 90% of the wood out of this. So in order to do that, I'm going to take a pen and I use the finger method. And except that that's not enough. I don't want to make it that thin. I need to round it over, so we'll make it a 1/2 inch perimeter. This is a piece of 3/8 stock. Make the trailing edge a little bigger because you're gonna, especially if you're using my hinges, because you're not gonna put any hinge blocks in this, and you want to leave enough for the tang. Where are my hinges? Oh man, back to, here we go. You want to leave enough for the tang to glue into. Now the tang that I've been having cut from the Southbridge CNC is 1 inch long. It doesn't need to be that long. Probably ought to tell them to revamp the program. But as you can see, it's an inch long, so we're going to make this a 1/2 inch, and that's plenty of glue area. If you're using blade hinges, 1/2 inch would be way more than plenty. We'll go back to this. So we got a 2-inch area that we're going to have to. You have to have enough for the fuselage to mount on. So let's do this. Where's my other square? Here it is. So this is 2-inch right here. We're going to make it 2.5. How many of you guys out there know 345? 345 is a figure that you can get 90 degrees. If you don't have a square, you can make a square real simple. I'll show you how to do that. You have a piece of wood here. We need a square. We need a 90 degrees. So let's go here. We're going to measure down 4 inches. Not square now. We'll just cut it off, I guess. From there to there, 4 inches. Then we're going to measure over 3. Right there. It's going to be 5 inches. So this is 4, this is 3, and this will be 5 inches. And if it's not 5 inches, it's not square. So I need a ruler. Here we go. So I'm giving an algebra question, I guess. 3 out here, like so. And we're going to measure down 5 inches. And wherever that crosses there, if you don't believe me, try it for yourself. Five inches, 3 inches across the bottom, 4 inches up this way. It'll be 5 inches, and that'll be a perfect 90, that corner right there. 90. So let's give it a whirl, Earl. Let's see what happens. It was out of square, too. If you're really slick, you can do your books on a framing square. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. So if you got a ruler, you got a square. That's your lesson for the evening. I just broke it. It's going to be 2 3/4 now. Doesn't matter because I already got it. But this corner right here will be perfect 90 degrees. So remember, 3 inches across the bottom, 4 inches up, and let's say you have them at obtuse angles. You want to move that dot over until it's exactly 5 inches from this mark here to the bottom dot there. And this corner here will be a perfect 90 degrees. So let's see if I did my job right. Little bit off, but pretty damn close. It may be a 64th off. Less than that. Anyway, that's the lesson for the evening. 3, 4, 5. Anybody says what that is? That's what that's all about. Okay, so now we're going to do. I want to make these tips nice and rounded, so you got to leave a little meat on the end. So we're going to take this can here. Actually, I need a circle template is what I need. Which I had one, but I don't know where the heck it is. Might be in this box. Where? No. Guess I'm gonna have to order another one. Circle template. Well, shit. Look at this. Well, how about eyeball template? Close enough. And over here, we'll use this piece here. This doesn't have to be perfect inside here, just close. All you're trying to do is get rid of some weight. About 50% of this, the weight of this. So now, well, we got a big audience tonight. My microphone is cracking. Let me see if I can clip that and turn it down. Yeah. Okay, check, 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 check. How about there? Is that better, Charles? How's that? Microphone better? I've turned it down some more. Hopefully it clipped. It's not clipping. So let's cut this up. I want to drill some holes, I think. Charles, is the microphone better? 3/8. Nope. We'll go with that size drill there. Oh, I should have had John take that primer. So this side of the stab is harder wood. So we're going to put that on the outboard side. You see, well, it can't be that much. Well, every little bit helps. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the back half of this. Both those holes drilled rather hard. Okay. So let's do this. I like doing things the easy way, the fast way. So let's cut it up with the saw. Oh, it's going to be too noisy. Pretty messy. Okay. Can't make too much noise, it's late. Neighbors will get upset. But at least I got those hard parts done. We can sand it out from there. I should have weighed this first to see how much we're cutting out of this. I want to cut 50% of the weight off. This puppy here is 61 grams. So we got to get it cut down a bunch. I'll probably put a hole in the center here too. Yeah, that's what it is. The trailing edge is harder. So that's good. That's good. Where I want my strength is on the trailing edge anyway. I hate cutting left-handed. Yep, that's the deal. Trailing edge is harder. So not to wake the neighbors, we're going to do it this way. About, oh, I don't know, whenever, I think my mom died, it's been about 8 years ago now. She sent me this saw as a joke, and I've used this saw so much it's ridiculous. It's a good saw. So thanks, Mom, for thinking of me. I'm going to drill a hole on this side too. We're just roughing it in right now. So I said 61. Stuck somewhere. There it is. All right. So let's see what it weighs now. Should be down to an ounce. Almost 31 grams. We got to drop 4 grams off of it, or 5 grams. So we're definitely going to get a hole in the center. So where's my pen? And if you notice, I'm doing everything with the method of that looks about right. Okay. Do I want a couple of small holes or one big hole? Damn. No room. Yeah. I think one big hole would be better. I think I'll wait until I get that ground out. Ow! Just sanded me. All right. Yeah, what a mess. Okay, let's see what we're going to do next. 9 viewers. That's great. Okay, so I have a sanding block right here. My favorite sanding block, 80 and 320. Gonna sand up to the line. Does it look easy yet? It's real simple. Simple, simple. Easy peasy if it wasn't greasy. Okay. Let's see if we're down to 28 grams yet. Oh, we got a hole to cut here, I forgot. If we're at 28, we won't have to cut a, well, I probably should cut a hole anyway. Lighter the better. $29. So you have the option, either thin it out some more or cut a hole in it. I think I'll cut a hole, or both maybe. So let's do that. Let's cut a hole in it. This is the wrong size hole. It's just a little bit too big. I hate to, you don't want to take away all the strength of the wood, because there's a lot of stress on this stab back here. So even though we're going to do geodesic ribs in here, and it'll be skinned, might get veil on it, it still has to be stout. You know, don't make this too flimsy. Well, I'll just go for it. Let's draw it on there and look. too big. This is too small. It's just a little. I don't understand. I don't have a circle template here, so let's do this. We'll just eyeball it because you won't be able to see it anyway. Draw it around there and sand up to it. Once I get the guts here sanded to the weight and ready to go the way I want, it won't take 15 minutes to build this stab. Won't be able to finish sanding it till tomorrow, but okay, that's close enough. Drill a hole in it. Cut it with my mom's saw. Yeah. Can't believe I put a hole in my Snap-on shirt. Stupid motor tool. Dremel, whatever. Let's see. Nope. Nobody's talking. They're all just watching. Which is fine. I hope you guys learned something from watching me. Remember, your airplane has to look as nice on the inside as it does on the outside. And you ask, why is that? It's lighter and it's stronger. That, and I won't laugh at you when you crash. And I get to look at the inside of it. Okay, let's see how much it weighs. Got a mess here. 26 grams. That's acceptable. Because what I'm going to do now is we're going to glue on the sheeting. This thing's going to go up, you know, an ounce and a half or so. 2 ounces maybe. So, in order to keep this thing straight, I'm going to clamp it to the glass. I probably ought to put some wax paper on it in case the CA tries to glue it to the glass. Yeah. It's a 12. I said, why am I clamping it to the glass? Well, I know that the glass is straight. We want this stab laser straight. So I'm going to wick the CA inside here as it's clamped. That way I know it's straight. I don't have another big one. Over here. I haven't even opened these up. These clamps here are a great tool. Harbor Freight, $2 or whatever. You get a tube of these. I got probably three tubes of them. Can't never have enough clamps. Now, people say, well, you should white glue that. White glue would warp it. You're introducing water into it. That's why I'm not a big fan of water-based paint. I can't see getting water close to wood until after it's finished. Wet sanding the clear, maybe. Okay, we know it's straight now. Now I need glue. Okay. I gotta blow my nose. Dust. Any questions on this method? So now I have this laid out. We're going to have to measure where the ribs go. Now you can put half a gazillion ribs in it if you want. But remember, you only want to put enough wood in it to make it function. You don't need to put 40 ribs in. You know, a rib every half inch. So we're going to do this. Every inch I'm going to make a mark. In order to use half the ribs, and this doesn't have to be exact either. It's close enough. Because they're inside. So now we're going to go across. Every other one we're going to make a mark on the other side. Maybe I started out, that'll be all right. Yeah, I actually started out wrong. So every mark you're going to be over there. So you need to, I'll explain it when I get there. Either way, it's one side or the other is going to come out uneven, so that should be good enough. That'd be stripper. Take the stripper, set it to 3/8. Three-eighths plus a little. Come on now. Not 3/8 plus an eighth. There we go. 3/8 plus a 64th, whatever. We're going to take this scrap wood we got here, make the ribs for it. This is about the easiest way to make a stab and elevator that you can go. You could spend hours making one, or you could do it the easy way. I think that one warped. It's not going to be good enough. So we'll see what happens here. So every other mark 1 inch apart, I put one in, and that leaves one rib out, if that makes sense. And our job is to use engineering for strength instead of lumber. Because these airplanes got way too much lumber in them. Broke that one. You want to save your lightest wood for this part of the airplane, because it's the farthest away from the center of gravity. So when you're selecting your wood, when I select my wood or whatever, I make a plan of where it's going to be used. I don't just grab wood and start putting it anywhere. Let's say you have some sheeting that's 8 grams and some that's 6 grams. Well, where would you use the 8-gram sheeting? Well, you use it on the outboard side so you don't have to use as much tip weight. And it doesn't sound like much, but if you do that everywhere on the airplane, use the heavy wood to your advantage, it adds up. And I bet you're wondering how I'm going to glue this top piece on without white glue. Well, Slow Set CA. Okay. There's 1/2 right there. Don't forget to add a center section. This is just eyeball it parallel. Your eye's close enough. Not building a watch. Well, you think, well, why am I putting these in here? I just grounded it. Well, it's a lot of stress in this area. Don't want the stab to fold up. Okay. All right, so we got 1/2 done. Let's knock it off a little bit. I don't have them glued in. Gotta glue them in. Pretty simple. You could, these are sticking up about a 1/16 of an inch. Be careful when you're doing this so you don't break them off. You want them flat, you don't want them chamfered. I think tonight I'll just build this stab and we'll leave the elevators. And I'm going to do the flaps a little bit different, but the construction is very similar. And the only reason I'm going to do the flaps that way is because I don't have any good 3-pound wood. Okay, any questions? Thanks, Mike. Master Craftsman? I don't know. Just I'm old hack. Okay. So we wanted to go from right here, every inch. It's just so simple. You know, I'm trying to pass this on. I know that not many young people watch my channel. This is just not exciting as it was when I was a kid, when the X15, the X1 was a little bit before my time, but the X15, John Glenn was piloting that to the speed of sound, and it was exciting. Flight was exciting, so that's why in the 60s and 70s, this hobby was so prevalent because flight was exciting. But now, if it's not a computer, it's not interesting, and it's a shame because the guys that I work with, when they have no, you mean the new guys that come in, they have no basic skills, how to read a tape, how to, like I showed you, that 3-4-5. no clue what perpendicularity is, and they don't teach that anymore. So it's a shame. So that's basically why this channel exists, to when I'm gone, that maybe some young guys would want to learn the craft. I'm not holding my breath, but you never know. Let's see here. I'm not going to have enough sticks here. So we got to break out another stick. That's a 17. Not quite as light, but we're just using the stick. Oh, it's short. Good. This is a 15. So we'll just use a stick off of this. I lucked out. I had these pieces of wood, these 11 stashed underneath the building board on my coffee table. I don't know why I used the light ones for that, but I did. So they were saved out of the way. So we want up here. Up here. Okay. So I'm going to go this way. Oh no. Huh. That stick cut too narrow there. You could spend your time angling each one of the, sanding and angling each one of these ribs to fit absolutely perfect. But as long as they're square and they fit in there relatively tight, there's no need to bevel each one and all that business. You got time for that stuff. But do make sure they sit down on the sheeting. If you don't, I'll be able to see them in the sun. Cut that one a little bit. And trust me, guys, I am looking at your airplane when it's out on the flight line. How was it done? I don't have any fancy music like the man in his museum. Like Bob Hunt put out some pretty neat Stunt Flyer Video Magazine videos. If you guys don't never watch those, call Bob up and ask him for a Stunt Flyer Video Magazine video. I'm not sure he has them in DVDs, but I had them in VHS. They were cool to watch. Interviews with Giske and I don't think Bob Galdini, Jim Lee. You know, all the greats of stuff. He missed one though. He didn't. He didn't interview me. Of course, I had. I had just come back around. Okay. So let's see how long we've been running here. 1 hour and 12 minutes. I basically built the stabilizer because trust me, once these are glued on, I flip it over and glue it onto the other piece. It's basically done. It's like a 5-minute sand out. Not the detail sanding, but okay. That fits in there close enough. So make sure they're sitting down flush on the skin. Take your CA. I always use a snorkel because it puts less CA out. Remember, less is more when you're building. This stuff's pretty heavy. You use a bottle of glue on your airplane. That's 2 ounces of glue you put on your airplane. Okay. And I've been trying to take a drink of soda. Let's see what somebody said here. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Mike. It all went to hell in a handbasket. Probably gonna have to edit that comment though. Let's see here. Okay. Cancel. We had two instances of OBS open because it's so hard to work on, hard to do. Remember what I said about an hour a day? Here, I mean, I've worked more than an hour today because I helped John with his. Actually, I didn't work more than an hour a day on this airplane because I ain't done nothing today on it. I worked on John's stencils. So this is my hour a day, and in an hour, we built the stabilizer. Okay. And buddy, that is straight as glass. When I get the other side glued on, I'll go down and glue that, the outside, seat all this down, because it's only glued from the inside. So now we're going to skin it on the other side. This is a little tricky, because you got a whole lot of time to monkey around. Remember what I've said about one-shot things. Okay, we're going to use medium set CA. Make sure it's coming out of there. I better check this to make sure that this is all going to work. Yeah, it's a good thing I checked. There's a little high spot right here in the center. Remember what I've told you about sanding? You can hear it change tone. What I'm checking for here is to make sure that there's no high ribs. So when I glue it down, there's not a bump that I got to sand out. In fact, I better check the other side better. Still got a spot in the center. What the heck's going on here? Yeah, that's good. Okay, remember what I said, one shot. You screw this up, you've wasted your hour plus your good wood. So you want to make sure you get plenty of glue in the center here, because you're never going to be able to get back inside here. And we're going to go down the perimeter here, around the tips. Now, this glue won't kick off till you take the air away from it, so meaning that you got a little time to work with it, but you got to make haste. You know, you can't be dilly-dallying around. Okay. Phew. CA is tough. You got one shot to set this down. Clamp it back down for a minute. And we'll cut this out. And we got to guess what this is all going to weigh. Okay, let's see where we're at. It's stayed laser straight, so that's a good thing. It's about right. And we got to guess what it weighs. Yeah. Get out the long bar. Start cleaning it up. Well, for you guys that don't know, oh, what the heck? This long bar doesn't have any smoke on it. It's got 320 on it. No, it's not 2.5 ounces. 1.75 ounces. The whole thing has to weigh 3 ounces when it's done. Otherwise, it's too heavy. When I mean the whole thing, that's hinges. I gotta put some 320 on this. That's hinges, elevator stab, and horn. Complete, ready to go. course, a concave will get sanded into the back of this because this is pocket hinges on this one again. If you look down this, it's laser straight. You can't really do it on the camera. There it is. Straight as a whistle. Just like the wing, straight as an arrow. So what I normally do is I block sand these square. I'm making quite the mess here tonight. Shoot. Got too aggressive there. I gotta glue that down. I better glue this on here before it gets too out of hand. Youch. Try to be careful. That's what happens when you're talking instead of paying attention to what you're doing. This is Tucker Extreme. It's going to be nice. Super nice. Well, we made the stab tonight. I think I'm probably going to call it an evening. It's 11:30. Of course, we got guys just coming on or whatever. .35, huh? Nope, not even close. I can see 1 3/4 ounces. 1.8 ounces. 50 grams. Yeah. And you're going to lose some of that too when you sand this, so a light center line on it. I probably should glue everything before I do this. The only bad thing about doing a flat stab like this is it really doesn't have a lot of shape to it. But they seem to work. I mean, it's hard to argue with success. And John and I talked today about building up the staff, in that lost phone cradle. It's just so much work for not any advantage, because I'll guaranteed, it's going to be 3 ounces. I I built this in an hour. I'll spend another hour tomorrow building elevators. So we got 2 hours total in the elevator stabilizer, and it'll weigh 3 ounces. Or I could build it up, spend a week doing it, because it would be a week. There's lots of parts in that, just like building a wing, a mini wing, and it would still weigh 3 ounces and maybe even more. So it's kind of a cost factor. It didn't cost, monetary didn't cost you, but it cost me my time. That's what CA sounds like when you're sanding it. Yeah, I'm happy with this. This turned out real nice. Relatively light, extremely straight, and pretty damn strong. And of course, you get the Japanese tissue on it, and it'll be real strong. Well, that about does it for this evening. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the videos. If you want to see me do something, all you have to do is send me a message on StunHanger, or suggest it here. And I read every comment that's made, and it seems like there's going to be a lot of building time here, with this nonsense going on. So I appreciate you watching. Keep the faith. Keep building. Till I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. And we'll see you. What the heck's going on here? There we are. Yeah, Tom, I guess it is. All right, guys. Good night.